Hello guys, I'm Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't regret it. If you're a returning subscriber, as always, guys, welcome back, and I do appreciate the support. Guys, I want to talk about something, man, that blew my mind. And I just want to share it with you guys because I thought it was an interesting story. You see this man up here? This guy's name is Mitchell Rutherford. He's 35 years old, from Tucson, Arizona. He's a high school teacher, or was a high school teacher, at a place called Saguaro High School. Shout out Saguaro. And this guy taught biology, like I said. And this guy is retiring from teaching after being a teacher for 10 years. And the reason why the reasons he said he gave why he's going to retire from teaching students to just go and enjoy his life is astonishing to me. This guy said that kids can't put the phones down, and he tried everything to get their attention on learning in school, but they just can't put down cell phones. So he worked on this so much, it started to bother him. He started to develop a mental illness. Don't believe me? Check it out.
Welcome back. A Tucson biology teacher says enough is enough. He's leaving the classroom over students not being able to put down their phones. He says he's tried everything to get the kids to power down, but the appeal of what's on their cell phones is just too great. News for Tucson's Lupita Murillo reports from Saguaro High School with the 411.
Mr. Mitchell Rutherford has been teaching biology for over a decade. This will be his final week as a Saguaro Cougar.
I've been struggling with mental health this year, mostly because of what I identified as basically just phone addiction with the students.
The 35-year-old biology teacher became a first-time father. He says last semester something just wasn't right. And this semester, he says, he was working harder than the students.
This year something shifted, and it's just like they're just numbing themselves. They're just checking out of society. They're just like, can't get rid of it, can't put it away.
He likens the phone addiction to that of drugs.
Opioids, obviously a huge problem. Cocaine, heroin, all of those drugs, alcohol, it's all a big problem. But like sugar even greater than that, and then phones even greater than that.
He says he tried everything in the book to get the students to dial it down and turn their phones off and turn on their brains.
Here's extra credit. Let's check your screen time. Let's, create habits. Let's, do a unit on sleep and why sleep is important and how to reduce your phone usage. We'll talk about it every day, and created a basket called Phone Jail.
So what does he believe is the solution to phone addiction?
As a society, we need to prioritize educating our youth and protecting our youth and allowing their brains to, and social skills and happiness to develop in a natural way without their phones.
News 4 spoke with parents about Mr. Rutherford leaving his teaching position.
I kind of agree with him. Not agree with him for quitting, but I agree with the stance that he's taking because he's not able to do his job.
I think it's understandable. I feel the frustration. I have 2 teenage boys, so they're on their phones constantly. It's a big distraction.
Mr. Rutherford's last day is Thursday. He says it's bittersweet, but he knows it's the best decision for himself and for his family. He eventually hopes to get his PhD. Reporting from the east side, Lupita Murillo, News 4 Tucson.
All right, guys, you've seen the story of Mr. Mitchell Rutherford, and I wish him the best of luck in his travels of life, being that teaching is not for him. And I can't say I don't blame him. I mean, honestly, man, there have been all types of stories and all types of things that we heard out here about people not being able to separate themselves from their cell phone. It's like nowadays a cell phone is an extension of one's arm or just hand. Like me, for instance, I mean, I carry my cell phone everywhere I go, all through the house. And it's just one of these things now that everybody does subliminally. You just grab it and just do it. Whether it's intentional or unintentional. Phones have become that important. But honestly, I know when to put my phone down and take a break from it. And a lot of times these young kids that get exposed to these cell phones have a hard time doing that. I've seen stories where parents, other children, or even teachers get harmed or sometimes killed because they try to get them to take a break from their phones. I hear a lot of parents out here with teenage kids. You want to get to the kids, take their phone. Easier said than done. These kids can't even pay attention in school. This guy was offering extra credit just to listen to what he's saying. It's like it's too much of a distraction. He said he started developing mental illness from it. I guess he was talking about going into depression. You know, teaching is hard enough by itself. But when you start taking problems home and you get to where you don't want to do this no more, it's time to retire. I wish him nothing but the best of luck. And you know what's messed up? All them kids that was having the cell phones must have been the majority over those that didn't and really could have benefited from learning from this man next year and a year after that and a year after that. We've all had teachers in our lives that have said something to us or showed us something that we always remember. You can go from grades, as far as you can think back, grades 3 through 12 or 1 through 12, and always have something to say, you know, that you can remember from each teacher if you can remember them. And I think cell phones, like I think a lot of technology is making people lazy and it's taking us out of the natural human element of what makes us human, being able to socialize with each other. How many times you seen people use the phone, you know, to not engage with somebody else because they either feel uncomfortable, they don't like that person, so they use the phone as a diversion. You see it a lot of times in movies with teenage kids. They'll get on their phone and act like they hear you talking, but it's just they don't have to, you know, look you in the face. A lot of values are lost nowadays that you've seen and you know, that were vital to just basic communication and etiquette among human beings. You don't see it no more because of this rush in people wanting to be a part of this revolution of being on their phones. And it's sad. It is. Think about that. I mean, I don't know what the policy is in that school with cell phones, but I mean, I'm sure it's not other teachers out there that don't feel the same way. What am I even here for? You don't want to learn nothing because some of this stuff we have to do projects in class. We have to work as a team. You got to put the phones down. We have to interact. You don't see that no more. That's dangerous. You're starting to see it in a lot of today's youth and a lot of other situations where people are, you know, not antisocial, but socially awkward. I think a lot of this stuff with the cell phones and stuff to where everything you need becomes the sum total of knowledge in the palm of your hand is making people stupider. It's also making people stalkers. It's increasing a lot of bullying. And it warps the sense of reality of people that are in the house that see the world through their phone. I can't tell you how many times I've had kids around me or just adults, and this is serious. This is amazing to me. They'll ask me a question, and I'm like, you got a computer in your hand. You know, a cell phone nowadays and took away the laptop in people's houses. A lot of people, I mean, not laptop, a desktop. A lot of people, everybody had a desktop computer. Now, almost a phone can do everything a desktop do. It's like the more technologically sound we get, the dumber we become, and the worse we become as human beings. It's a darn shame that man said, hey, man, I'm done with this, because he couldn't find a way. But I mean, I don't know what the school policy was, but I mean, that's sad. And that should tell you something. I'm Stock Market Steve for the Dynamic Reason channel. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.